Hi, everybody. Welcome to our new episode of Meet the Team. This is to introduce to you every single team member that are part of the Helping Hearts program. And with us today, as always, our beautiful Guinivere Stevenson. She is a realtor in Denver and she's the founder of this amazing program. Hey, G, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm super excited to be with you again and to saying hi to our followers again. Thank you so much for being
Absolutely.
with us. So, tell us a little bit more, Gia, about who do we have today?
Absolutely. So today we have Susan Ayers with Colorado Senior Care Advisors. Susan is absolutely amazing at helping our clients and their families find the next place for their loved ones. So it might be independent living, it might be assisted living, it might be memory care. Just depends on the need of our loved one or ourselves, wherever we are in that. What Susan caters to is she focuses on evaluating them individually to make sure that we can find, or that she can find, the best place for them financially, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I'm not the expert at this, so let's tap her in and let her explain what she does and how she does it to the fullest extent.
Awesome. Hey, Susan, how are you? Welcome.
Gee, Yolanda, how are you guys?
We're super
Good. How are
good.
you?
I'm
Good.
doing great. And I think I don't have to say anything because, gee, you just pretty much described everything I do, so I'm done.
I bet
Thank
there's
you.
more. I bet there's more into it. But
Right.
before we get
Absolutely.
into that, Susan, can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself to our viewers?
Sure. I have been in this industry of seniors for probably, not to show my age, close to 35 years. I've been in and out of all these assisted livings and memory cares, nursing homes, hospitals, and I've been able to take all these years of experience in home health, and I worked assisted living and I worked long-term care and bring it to my families to help them navigate these next steps, which are so difficult and ever changing.
Awesome. And so, Susan, so 35 plus years doing this. What do you find is where's the first place that you start with? So when a family reaches out to you, or an individual that's in need of your services, what's kind of the first step? What should we expect when we initially reach out to you? Where do we start? And ultimately, well, and that might be too big of a question, but where do we start, and ultimately what's the end goal?
Well, usually it's just a free phone consultation. It doesn't cost anything to call and let's talk. I want to find out, what are some of your issues? What's some of the assistance you might need at home? I touch a little bit on finances. What can you afford? There's a big difference between what your dollars are and what medical dollars. They just don't equate one-to-one dollars anymore. And I like to do just an overview. I don't want to waste your time or your money if I don't think I can help you. So it's kind of a lots of questions and answers. And once I get to a point that I realize I can really help, then I open up the discussion to that. And it's like, this is what we would do next. The first step after that would be to get together and actually do a physical and a high level financial assessment. I need to know physically what you can and can't do. I need to know a little bit about your health issues, because I not only look at what you need today, but what you're going to need over the next couple of years or longer, depending on if you have congestive heart failure or Parkinson's, if there's issues that we have to look long term. I don't like to put people somewhere where they have to keep moving every time they need help. So I get that physical piece, and then I see, let's look at the financial piece. Is it possible that you're going to outlive your money? If that's possible, which is in a lot of scenarios, that's a different kind of placement than if you're going to be independently wealthy and you can pick whatever place you like.
Mhm. Well, and on that note, I want everybody to understand the reason why Susan is part of Helping Hearts, and the reason why she is my go-to, is that she does take that time to go through all of these different aspects so that it's one time. Ultimately, our goal is to make sure that you're taken care of in a facility financially, emotionally, and mentally, that is not going to require that you're going to have to move again. There is nothing more stressful than moving. The other thing that's different about Susan than anything else, especially, kind of the big websites and whatever that are out there, is that Susan works with you and your family one-on-one to ensure, with that personal touch, that all those needs are met. So it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. It is very specific to what you need, how you need it, and how long you need it. Am I saying that correct, Susan?
Beautifully said. Really. You'd think that you've been through this with me, G. Come on, right?
Well, I have.
I know. I was making a joke.
Right? Susan has helped a number of our clients with Helping Hearts, and just continues to blow me away. And
I think
yes,
it's important to add, though, that every family is unique in its own way. I've been doing this for years, and I've never had two families exactly the same. I mean, right now I just helped a family that the husband needs memory care and the wife needs independent. So that's two separate placements on a campus where they can still visit each other. Another family I'm working with right now, they both need assisted living, but he's going to need memory care sooner than later. So we have to look at the big picture for both individuals. And if it's just one person, I've even placed people in one facility for just a short time, because then we have to change at another time once they start running out of money. So for as many people as out there is as many options as what we might be able to do to help.
Awesome. Well, yeah. And that's when, with that too, factoring in the spouse. What does the spouse need, and what's the degree of the spouse's need, and how can we keep them together? Right. And make sure that they're taken care of. And then for families that don't live in the state, like Susan, you and I specifically with our Helping Hearts clients have been dealing with families that don't have any family members in the state of Colorado. So for them to be able to have, you and I as boots on the ground, and Susan has amazing relationships with all of the facilities in Colorado. She knows who owns them. She knows how they work. She knows their care level. She has a relationship with them because she's been doing this for 35 years. Oftentimes when I speak to her, she very quickly is like, oh, I have the perfect place, just based on what I heard, just the broad strokes that I can give her. She's already got some place in mind. And obviously that helps exponentially with the trust and understanding that you are, placing people in communities that really true fit the needs. Is that a correct statement too?
It is. And I think one of the most biggest values that I add is I do a lot of education with the families. They're usually in a stressful place anyway, and there's 100 million things that they have to do. And now they have to understand why one assisted living versus another. What questions do I ask? Most people walk in and they're like, it's shiny and has granite countertops, so let's choose it. And they don't understand what you have to compare and contrast. Mm-hmm. And I do a lot of education up front, even before I start the search, so they understand why I'm maybe looking for a small facility versus a big facility. And I hold their hand through the whole process. The only thing I don't do is make that final decision, but I give them enough education and information that they feel more confident in the decision that they do make.
Awesome. And I have witnessed that firsthand. And one of the things too that I love, Susan, is, the connections that you have are not the norm. So, if you Google search, assisted living, you're only going to see so many things. What I love about Susan is she's like, well, it's not on Google, but they've been in business for the last 40 years. It's a smaller community. It's case by case. It's about relationships. I know them. I can bring this family or this person to them and speak to them about it. And then you've even gone so far as to negotiate on the financial side to the benefit of the client, correct?
Yes, and I can also, there are monies available out there for specific families. I have my whole list, just like you do, G, of, okay, I can't do this, but if you're going to be a Medicaid spend down, let's talk to this person. If you need VA aid and attendance, let's talk to this person. I have my own list of people that I trust with my own mother, who I've used with my own mother before, to make sure we're going to be able to find any monies if we can, and how to. It's a very creative job for me. I get to problem solve. And now that's one of the things I like about my job. What happened to you, G?
I'm here. My apologies. Somebody was trying to call me. It happens.
That happens,
I
yeah.
put it on do not disturb, but it never seems to work. So my
Never does.
apologies. So on that note, so Susan, how would you like to wrap it up? Would you like to talk anything more about like the evaluation process? What do you do? So when you have that physical and emotional evaluation with, you know, your one-on-one, do you want to talk a little bit about what it is that you're evaluating or what you're looking at that helps you kind of find the right spot?
It's pretty thorough. I mean, to go into the detail, I'm usually with a family the first time for the assessment, just with one individual, at least 2 to 3 hours. And I like to have the families there so everyone's hearing the same questions and the same answers, and they see what I do. And I do a medical history, and I look at their medications and how often and how many, because that's going to apply to how much they're going to charge them when they move into these facilities. Do they need help with showers? Because that can always, not always, but can be an extra charge. So I need to, you know, I may ask them, can you put on your shoes and socks? And they say yes. And I'm the kind of person who says, show me. Because everyone's going to say, yes, I can do it. Can you get in and out of the shower? Because it's a tub. Yes, I want to see how you do that. Because I want to be able to get as close as possible to that nut we need to crack monetarily. And unless I do a thorough assessment, I can't do that. The worst thing in the world is to bring somebody to a facility. They absolutely love it. They fall in love. Then they get assessed and they add another $2,000-$3,000 onto just the apartment. And then
which happens all the time.
But it doesn't happen with me. Yeah. Because I know how to break it down.
That's why I call you to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'll get much closer than most. And the facilities don't like it very much when I'm like, okay, let's just say they need this. What's it going to be? Well, our nurse has to assess. I know, but let's just hypothetically, and I know how to walk around this. Yeah.
Cool. Well, and for one more thing for our viewers to understand too, is that a lot of people claim to do what Susan does, but very few do it to the extent that she does. And that is exactly why she's part of this network and why she's someone that we trust to share with you and your families and obviously be part of the network. It's because she does go that extra mile and does pay attention to not only what our loved one or even ourselves need and want, but she's also going to factor in what's going to be best for the family too. Because here's the thing, whether it's me, if I'm moving, I don't want to move 1,700 miles away from my nearest family member. If I don't have to, I don't want to do that. So she's going to factor all of that in. That makes the best situation. And I think probably the best way to say that is quality of life. It is all about quality of life from this point all the way until the next step, the next stage, the next whatever it is. Agreed, Susan?
I do, but I'd also like to add, I also qualify the facilities. People always say, well, what's the best assisted living? And I'm like, I can't tell you that unless I know what you need. And it's different for everybody. And so I have my list of A facilities, B facilities, and never in your life facilities. and they change. They'll get bought and sold. They'll change management companies. All of a sudden, someone will leave and there's a lot of turnover and it changes. And how do you keep up with that? And that's my job. That's what I do because I'm in these facilities all the time. And I know the government sites and know how to read how they did on their last surveys, talk to the ombudsman. There's a lot involved behind the scene that I qualify that facility is going to be appropriate, as close to what they need as possible within the financial means that they have.
Awesome. Well, at this time, I can't think why I do have 1,000 more questions, but at this time, because this is just our first one, let's put it out there to our viewers. If they'd like to know more about you and your services, let's invite them to ask for those details. And in the description of the video here is going to be all of Susan's contact information so that you can call her and chat about what it is that you need, either whether it's for you or if it's for one of your loved ones. And remember, that first conversation, Susan is so kind to extend that to you for free to, just find out what you need to know to get the wheels in motion. And of course, myself and Alondra are here to help you as well. Whatever we can do to help with all these moving parts, we're always here. That's what Helping Hearts is about. That's why we call it that. We have hearts and we help.
So remember to subscribe for more awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you, G. See you the next time.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you both.
Bye.
Nice to see you too. Thank you, Susan.